Impact Wrestling. As you can see from the title, it is a sad day. I'll explain what I'm meaning, but it's finally happened. She's gone. Maybe that might be the title. Or sad day, I haven't decided yet, but, excuse me. But, you'll understand my feelings in a few minutes. Now, let's change it up and go through most of what was talked about on this show. They're trying to build up going into Sacrifice and into Multiverse United. Now, if I can, which I should be, I will be doing Multiverse United and Sacrifice. Sacrifice next week. Multiverse United will be the week after. So I should be having no problem doing it, I hope. But I'll let you know if any change happens. But let me give it to you like this. Most of this show is setting up for Sacrifice and Multiverse United. Let's talk quickly about the design. Where are they going? And the next step is basically being a man and taking your beating. Because that is what Diener had mainly said to Callahan. Because Callahan was pissed off and saying, what the hell was that? And Diener said, Callahan pretty much said, what is this next step? I thought that was the next step. No. The next step is for you to own up to what you did wrong. You cost Khan a match. You got to pay for it. You got to get your ass whooped. And you got to own it. That is what pretty much Diener was saying when Callahan came in. But before then, he did iterate again that we don't know if he means to really join us or not. But we're still going to go through with this, even if he is going to try and burn us, because that's the way we are. We are the design. That's what it comes down to. And I say this again. There's a very strong possibility, at least by my perspective, that Diener will do exactly what Eric Young did. That pretty much you're going to see Callahan come in. If Callahan is not going to be, they're not going to book it so badly that Callahan's going to turn on the design after all this time and then try to destroy them from within after he joins them. I truly believe that Callahan will be the next design. Diener will notice exactly what's going on because he's going to be no different than Eric. That he's going to start breaking down, the sickness will come back, and he's going to do exactly what Eric Young was. He may be the designer, but he's not the design. Like what Eric Young did with Diener, Diener's going to do this exactly with Sammy. That's what I believe would be the best way to do it. To continue the story of the design. To go from one seamless leader to another, going for the same steps. And they all do their own spin on who comes in. That's what I think would be the best way. Doesn't mean it's going to happen like that. I'm hoping it does, but it doesn't mean they'll do it. Now, let's talk about PCO. PCO walked his ass down the strip, down to Sands Town, and looking for Eddie. Eddie, before PCO comes in, makes it very clear, I just want to put everything behind me. I thought I finally got it. And they replayed the one who was driving the car that hit PCO. I thought it might have been Alicia. I think it would have been better if it had been Alicia. But I can understand why they used Kenny. I didn't actually think about Kenny as an alternative who's still in the... being from Honor No More, it makes perfect sense. In a sense, if you're going to continue the Honor No More part of the story, to bring in Kenny King. Because he's the only one left other than Eddie and PCO. But do I want it? I didn't really want it. I didn't want Kenny to do that. I would have liked Kenny to go off and do something else. He's worked with, pretty much, he's gone and worked with Speedball Mike Bailey, doing an interesting thing, a twist on MMA. I would like to see him work with Jonathan Gresham and see his ass get strung out. I want to see Jonathan basically stretch his ass and make him cry like a bitch. That's what I wanted. But we're not getting that. We're getting a little bit of Honor No More back with those two. I don't agree with it, but I understand why they did it. But it would have been better if it had been Alicia Edwards, because if they really wanted to end the story, Alicia has to really help Eddie to end this. Because it started when Alicia was gone from him, comes back, and if she really loves him, they come back together. But that's just me. I'm just saying. PCO whoops that ass until he gets his ass whooped. Pretty much, he gets the back of his head busted open, and basically he gets his ass ended by a candlestick and at least one chair. Does this mean it's over? Nope. They're going to have some type of stipulation match, which is either going to be with PCO versus, well, I'm sure PCO is going to go up against Kenny first, and then he's going to go up against Eddie last. That makes the best sense. But do I believe they may do a tour? Well, they may do a handicap match. They might. But I think it would be better if you go one and then the other. You can have PCO go up against Kenny at Sacrifice, and then you can have him go up against Eddie at Multiverse United. I'm not saying it's going to be a great match, but it's the best idea. Particularly that they're going to probably throw Kenny into the X Division anyway. Now, what else do we have here? I think I'll start with this one first. I don't have to, but I'm going to. Because I want to get this done quickly. Because the road to not winning 50 is still going on, baby, as I said it. As I've said, they may be doing the Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins original storyline back in WWE. Where Kurt never won. He was like this. And everyone wanted him to win. And the only thing he needed was one win. And everybody would have been like this. But Vince McMahon made it very clear, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to bury his ass. So you get the 50, road to 50. And we get Vidal. It's been decided that the hairstylist is not the next person to go up against a Johnny Swinger. Not Ziggy Dice, who the only thing has to do is a finger poke of doom and he goes, and that will be his first true win. No. It is Vidal. And guess what? They actually believe. I got this in my face. I know I got an image of it. Pretty much, Swinger believes that Vidal doesn't wrestle when he does. And Swinger gets his ass handed to him. Next to Ziggy getting ejected, Shaw getting ejected, and getting beaten up by Perazo. You get him losing again. And you wonder why I'm not going to do a booking your wrestler for a Johnny Swinger. Guys, he's already on a road. Do I believe it's the right road? It don't matter. I don't know how many wins he's got. Well, how many losses he's got. I think he's got like 5 losses already. You guys, something below. It's either 4 or 5 losses so far. Counting this one, I think this is the 5th loss. I do not remember. But essentially, you're getting nothing from Swinger other than getting his ass handed to him by everyone. And the one who spoke before on the last Impact review video, saying that, well, he's wondering if Johnny's going to leave too. Like I said in the comments, unless Impact is really in trouble, I don't think Johnny Swinger is going anywhere. I don't think so. Unless they don't want to pay him, or they don't give him something to do, like they are doing with this, comedic relief. He's on the 50th losing streak. That's what it is. A 50th losing streak. The road to losing 50. That's what this is. So he has nothing to lose. He's being used. Just, it's not the way you want. Now, second match. We got Bayley and Gretchen versus Crazy Steve and DK. With the destructive Black Taurus, who should be X Division champion and is not. I'm going to give you like this. Am I fond of this when it comes to Black Taurus? No. Black Taurus should have been X Division champion already. He hasn't. Do I believe Crazy Steve should be X Division champion? No, he doesn't need it. Crazy Steve is Crazy Steve. He's always been a fan favorite. And most of that match, you see him biting everyone. He bites Gretchen. He bites Speedball. He's always a hungry guy. But in the end, Speedball and Gretchen, they win. Flat out. And now they're going to have a match. I believe it's a sacrifice. But this time, instead of Gretchen asking Speedball, it's now Speedball asking Gretchen. Let's move on to the Covenant. No. Cranking it back. Not doing that yet. No, I'm not going to do it yet. No. Let's talk about what's going on with the possible, which, well, it is going to be a match, of Joe Henry versus Brian Myers for the Digital Media Championship at Sacrifice, due to the fact that Brian never got his rematch, and pretty much Joe said to the DOA, I gotta do it because they're trying to make it funny. Look, Santino is trying to make this funny as he can with Dango. Remember, Dango is Dango. Santino said, oh, and we did get his old partner. I can't remember his name. The one that used to come out with him, who when he did the Cobra with, that he fought against, but then they became a tag team. I cannot remember his name. It has been so long since I last saw him. And they did show him full mustache and beard. He said, how you doing? How are you? And he says, I'm fine. It's good to see you, but I'm just so glad to see you. And Dango's about to say his name that was in WWE. He said, don't say his name. He does not have the trademark. You cannot say his name. So they at least addressed that they recognize who this guy is. I don't remember his name offhand. I remember him, but I just don't remember his name. It's been so long. And I remember the matches he had with Santino. I remember those matches that they were so ridiculous. It was fun. But then when it became a tag team, it became way better. I'm just saying. But I'm just seeing Santino having fun with this role, having also his name that WWE allowed to drop and then he can get the trademark for it. I'm glad to see that. I'm just saying. Now, let's get to the final match, and that will be the Bullet Club versus Josh versus Swan and versus Kaz. Now, this is a warm-up match for time slitters. No problem. I like the match. No problem. In the end, you get Macklin coming out, staring at Josh, who's about to do a damn C4 spike, I believe, on Ace. But he's staring right down at him from up the deck. That was stupid. If he had been at ringside, fine, that would have made sense. But you're telling me that Josh's eyes are that good. Look, I'm supposed to wear glasses. I know my eyes are bad. I'm not completely blind. I can see. But you're telling me he's got super eagle eyes that he can see from the corner of his eye up the ramp and mostly in the dark, seeing that Macklin is staring at him. He looks at him like this while he's holding Ace, about to do the C4 spike. He gets his ass whooped, kicked out when they could have won then. And the person who had to eat that was Bay for Swan. Well, Bay won off of Swan. My mistake. I reversed it. I'm dyslexic. I do that. But it goes along with the champs. They're not going to job to Josh, Kaz, and Swan. It's just not going to happen. But you're telling me that he couldn't just come down to the ring. He's all the way up near the Tron, mostly in the dark. And I believe I got a shot of it. You can see it's a bit dark. And you, come on. They should have let him walk down the ramp at least a little bit to make it look good. I'm just saying. Here it is. She's now gone. The tag champs of the Knockouts versus the Covenant. Let's put it in this perspective. I believe I got this shot. It's in my face. This is from, I think I got the shot. If I don't got the shot, I'm sorry. But this, as you can see, it's Taya on Dynamite. She is no longer with Impact. This is one of probably the few recordings they got of her before she's done. This might be one of maybe one more maybe before Sacrifice. I believe the next Impact recording before Sacrifice will be the last one she has. Unless she has an agreement with AEW and Tony to allow her to be on Sacrifice before she goes to AEW, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out next week when Sacrifice happens because it's an Impact Plus show. That's the way it works. But they did the Freebird rule. They did not want Jessica dealing with Kylan King or Taylor. So they asked her not to be involved. So she was at ringside. She was not in the ring. The match was fine. But the one who ate the damn pin was Taya. Tradition always kept. The one who's leaving always they got the job for the ones that's taken over from either getting a title or a storyline or whatever. Taya eats the pin. She's done. I know that I believe one of my subscribers, can't remember who he is, he said that Taya, it's so ironic with Taya. She leaves Impact, goes to WWE, gets screwed over, then has to wait to come back. Then she goes back in Impact, stays for a little while, and then as quickly as it is, she's gone again. She's come and go, come and go. It'll be amusing to see her get screwed over by AEW. I'm not angry at this person for saying that. It's just they don't understand the wrestling business. I'm going to say this to you, and you know who you are, and I'm not disrespecting anything you're saying, but you do know that wrestling has been going on for nearly and over 100 years, and stuff like that has been going on for easily 70 of those years. Do you actually think that what Taya's gone through is a rare occurrence, and that the decision she made is stupid? Not saying you're saying she's stupid, but this has been going on for decades. Wrestlers, men and women, mostly more men than women because it's not as publicized for the women, only in the last 2 decades easily, that women has been publicized about how they're treated in the wrestling business compared to men. But essentially, this is not uncommon. People will jump from one promotion to another during the territory days. And even though this is not the territory days, haven't you heard about the independent scene? With all the different independent promotions, you think that isn't going on in the independent promotions as well? That they're jumping from one promotion to another, they come in, stay for a while, get screwed a little bit maybe, leave, go back again, because they know they got, at least they're going to get work and money, and then they go again. It's not uncommon for this to happen. Doesn't mean it's fair. No, it's not. But that's part of the business. And what happened with Taya, going to WWE after leaving Impact Wrestling, where many people say she should have just stayed, she wanted to follow a dream. Remember, Taya, the very woman that we've all known and loved, went there to be with her husband. She wanted to work there for years, even before she got married. And her husband was already there, so she went there. And let's be honest, Vince screwed her. He did. He didn't give a damn. The reason that NXT 2.0 exists is not because just Triple H had a heart problem and had to go away. It's because Vince took over, and during that time, Triple H's heart became an issue, and he had to go away. But Vince was running it, so he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. And Taya at that time at 37, was still more than young enough to be considered viable and sexy. The woman had enough years under her belt that she looked good as a wrestler, which everyone knows is true. And when it comes down to it, Vince just didn't want to have someone old. He wanted someone young that eventually he could hit on and stick his own dick into. Let's be honest, that's what he likes to do. But in the end, Taya got screwed. And it's not uncommon in most promotions that they do that. Not all promotions, but most. And that's what happened. It's just that WWE is more publicized and all the indies compared to what it was during the time of the territory days. She leaves. She has to wait until a contract expires because she was released. She had to wait. Finally, she does it. Goes to Impact. Stays there for a while. And since we know how Impact is, that they don't hire people for long periods of time. It's not just because she didn't want a long-term contract. Probably she wanted to wait a little bit before going to AEW, but there was no availability. But it's not the point. Impact is known not to have long-term contracts anymore. Not known. They do have them, but they're not known to do it often. Only certain people they're willing to do it with. And they need more than just certain people to really make the company work. And they're not doing it. Mind you, Impact has been doing better. This show was fine. Camera work was fine. Audio was a little muffled, but it was alright. Lighting was fine. Commentary was fine. It's all normal, which that's all I ever wanted for the show. So when we watch it on a little screen that you're looking on my ugly ass. We could see it. But that's where Impact works. And whether she decided she wanted a short-term contract or Impact chose not to give her a long-term contract, it doesn't really matter. She's now gone to AEW. Is she going to be used there? That's going to be a big question. Because as I said in my Dynamite review, she needs, when she's there, to win that damn title. Jade is finished with that damn title. That title should have had prestige before she got her hands on it. But they made a new title just to make a new title. And they gave it to someone that was so green, she could not elevate it as high as it should. And that takes nothing away from Jade. Jade Cargill is a damn good wrestler for the last 2 years. She's worked her ass off to improve. She's improved her ring work. She's improved her mic skills. She improved her charisma and her character. But she's still only been in the business 2 years. And she's trying to elevate not just herself, but a damn title. Doesn't work that way. It shouldn't be that way, but AEW is a new startup company. That's what we got. They needed a veteran to hold that TBS title. And it should have been Thunder Rosa. She would have been a good person. Britt Baker, if she had just dropped it, but didn't happen. They could have used, and they should have, either Hiro Kushida, which I wouldn't have really wanted, but she is a professional. She's been in it for years. Or Selena Deeps, who should have been the one that should have won it because they weren't doing anything with her other than letting her train. And since she has more than 15 years in the business and she was hot at the time, they should have let her hold the damn title and train people. That would have been the best thing. To win the damn title, to give it prestige, so when Jade won it, it would have made more sense. No. Jade won it. Now at this point, she's 54-0. She's done all she can with that damn title in this amount of time in her 2-year anniversary. It is not as prestigious as it's supposed to be. Not because Jade is trash. I like Jade Cargill. I think she's great, but she's only been 2 years in the company. 2 years. And they needed a veteran in that position of over 10. Hell, I would have liked Nia Rose to win it, or even Rio to win it, because she's been in there for 15 years herself. But no. Taya has to win it now. They had a chance with Athena and they didn't do it. They had a chance with, Madison Rayne would have also been a good choice, but they didn't do anything with that either. Ruby Soho should have had it. No. Now we got Taya Valkyrie. If they don't drop it to someone that literally, Jade Cargill's finishing move is based similar to hers, which is the road to freaking Valhalla, where pretty much Taz said, what is she doing? She's doing her finishing move. Wrong. She's doing her own finishing move that Jade Cargill, who's only been in the business 2 years, copied from Taya Valkyrie, who got it from somebody else. So this is what we got. Taya is gone. Maybe that's the best title. Taya's gone. What do you feel? Yep, that's what I'm going to title this. Taya's gone. How do you feel? Peace.